Hi, everyone. Welcome to the chat. Welcome back. Or I should say, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. If you've been here already. Hi, Anna. I'm not sure if you've been here before. I don't recall seeing your name. I'm not sure. Today's a bit of a different time for me to be on because I fell asleep. And I didn't wake back up till 1 o'clock. So it's a little odd for me to be on right now. Today we are going to be discussing Lilly&Jack Sullivan, who we have been discussing since they've gone missing and have yet to be located. And I will continue to do what I can as a creator to keep their case alive. Yeah. So Lilly&Jack Sullivan, Lily, age 6, Jack, age 4, went missing on May 2nd of this year. According to RCMP, they were last seen on May 1st. And who else do we have here? Kimmer. Hi, Kimmer. Pleasure to see you as always. I've been listening a couple of times. Happy to be here. Well, we're happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so according to our CMP, they were last seen on May 1st, and they have yet to be located, Lily and Jack. And so this case has some very, I don't know what you would call it, just some very strange things going on surrounding it. The latest being in the last article by the Globe and Mail stating that there now is a tip that has come through. Well, it was put into the RCMP on May 8th, which would be a day after the RCMP did their press conference stating they were scaling back the search. The kids had not been located. They reiterated the fact that they do not believe they were abducted, and if the children were in the woods, that they would not have survived that. And yeah, so the tip came in the day after that. And which would be May 8th. Yes, May 8th. And this tip states that a neighbor who, and mind you, there's not many neighbors out there, and we're going to take a look at that. What house I speculate that this is the possible neighbor. And this neighbor states that they heard a vehicle from 12 to 5 a.m. in the morning coming and going. They heard the sound of this vehicle 6 times. So we can assume that would be 3 times in and out, back and forth, 6 times. And that this vehicle was a louder sounding vehicle and a 5-speed, indicating a standard. And that would be my other question, besides, where did this tip come from? Would be, what vehicle is this? Whose vehicle is it really? Whose vehicle is it? And it also stated in this article that Lindsay, who is one of the ones that did the research for the article, while at Earl's, noted that there was an older blacked out sedan in the yard, which was noted to be Daniel's. Now, typically, from the questions I've asked, those who know vehicles, and the information I found via the internet, the good old internet, many of those vehicles and older ones do tend to be standards, whereas a lot of vehicles today do not tend to be standards. Now, two of those popular types of vehicles would be your Toyotas and your Hondas. And Honda's definitely the older style and the blacked out, the cool vehicle, sedan type vehicle. Definitely, the standard was a popular for sure, especially with those who, kind of want it to be cool with their vehicle. Is this the same neighbor that said they had a party the day before the kids went missing at about 3ish? Is this the neighbor who refused to have his property searched? We don't know that. Don't know. I do not have those answers. My understanding is that the neighbor who put in the tip about the party, or I don't even know if they put it in as a tip, but they were on Facebook stating it. Uh, Somewhere along the lines, it was said that this individual lived across the street and down the road. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the neighbor that I suspect put the tip in about the vehicle is not across the road. They're on the same side of the road, down the road. It's a 6-minute walk away. So to me, that would kind of make sense that that would be the neighbor. I'm going to show you on Google Maps um, where that neighbor is. And I kind of did my own look and had my own thoughts on it. And I had remembered that Kent said that him and Sonny and Charmaine had taken a look at it as well. And Sonny did a 6-hour video the other day there. They took a look at it as well, and I think they're pretty much thinking it's the same house because they were talking about 2 houses, and then I was kinda getting confused just because of the way my brain is. But I think in the end, they do think that possibly it's the same house that I'm thinking as well, not 100% sure. Um, Hi, Valerie, thanks for being here. Ginger, hi, thanks for being here. Um, yeah, so we'll take a look at that. And we'll take a look at the picture that everybody's talking about regarding the wood pile. I had noticed that wood pile a while ago. Actually, if you go back on one of my videos, you can hear me mention it because I kind of sarcastically said, because Janie always said that Jack's looking for the bugs and the worms and I kind of sarcastically said, while Jack's out there looking for bugs, and then I said under the wood pile because the wood pile was right there. There's 2 wood piles. There's one right where the kids would have been playing, as she stated. And there is a wood pile, a bigger wood pile that I noted that was out in front of the house. But yeah, I did notice both of them. Um, Randy, hi. Thanks for being here. Crystal, why am I not seeing it? Oh, yeah, Crystal, I already pulled you up. Mariska, Valerie, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Um, Hi, Randy, thanks for being here. Um, and I don't know if you've been here, Randy, before. I don't remember seeing your name. Maybe you were in the bushes watching. What color is the house the neighbor lives at? Well, we don't know for 100% sure who the neighbor is, right? But I mean, when I looked at it, I'm looking at a big black house is the one that I think, you know, speculating, total speculation, that quite possibly might be it. That don't. It's just the one that makes sense to me, um, for a couple of reasons, and we're going to take a look at that. And then when I watched, I don't know if you watch, It's a Crime and Shame with Sunny, Cher, and Kent's on there quite a bit. And by the way, I'm local, and Kent is as well. We're both from Pictou County, which is where Lily and Jack went missing from, Pictou County. Um, and I'm pretty sure they think it's that house as well. Um, yeah. Good old Janie set the stage and narrative for her scripted interview, in my opinion. Oh, I know. Yes. Oh, they always played right here, and it just looks so nice there. Yeah, I know. Oh, it's just so bad. Um, Now whether that woodpile was there when the kids went missing, or for some reason it was pulled out of there when the RCMP were taking a look at everything, because that little deck in front of the house, there's a picture of them pulling that away from the house that my husband has shown me. Um, and the officers are there, and I mean, they did thoroughly go through things pretty good. So, but I mean, I can't imagine that they would have to remove a wood pile. I don't know, but, um, yeah, it's bizarre anyways. I mean, definitely if that wood pile was there, uh, and it wasn't removed from that little woodshed, which I assume that is a woodshed, um, yeah, the kids definitely weren't playing there, except to pull wood up and look under it for bugs, which is what I had stated in one of my other videos, right? But 'cause that's what I pictured in my head when I saw that wood pile, and she's saying Jack's looking for bugs and stuff. Well, I'm picturing, like, you moving a piece of wood and the bugs are under the wood, and I had stated over in the wood pile in that play area because that's what's there, a wood pile. Sonny had an amazing video on a detective who reviewed the case. It was incredible. I believe that was last night. I watched that, and I had already watched him. He's done, I think, 3 videos on this, if not 3, 2 for sure. Um, yeah, David Pilatus, Missing 411, and he does Canadian and US stories. Yep. I've watched him for a while, and um yeah, and Dr. Grande, I don't know if you've ever watched him. He's been touching on it here and there as well. Uh, and he's concluded that something nefarious has taken place as well. We can maybe take a peek at his video if we have time. Uh, it's Mary. We lived in Nova Scotia for 6 years near Kedgie. Mary. Your name is Mary, not Randy? Mary McLean? I love Kedgie. My husband and I went there when I was able to do those things, and we hiked Kedgie for 3 days. Yeah, all through the forest. It was awesome. Canoed and hiked. We portaged. Uh, it was great. I have been referred to a neurologist after my latest MRI. Oh, well, I hope everything's okay. Yeah. Well, don't be scared. I've had to see a neurologist before too, so don't be afraid. Um, yeah. Uh, I hope you're doing okay. Yes. Okay. Well, do you want me to call you Mary or call you Randy? That's cute. Randy Mary. They were in a body of water, in my opinion. I wouldn't disagree, JDR. I have that feeling as well, and I doubt too far from the home. I doubt. Well, I shouldn't say. In my opinion, I mean, nothing's too far. It's a county, right? These are all familiar stomping grounds to most individuals. especially people that fish. Um, because I had showed where I suspect quite possibly the Middle River. Um, Now Kent thinks that that probably wouldn't be so because there's such a narrowing in a certain area of that before it would wash out to the sea. However, one never knows in desperate situations. And we were getting a lot of rain at that time, so the waters would have been up a bit higher. Um, yeah, and it would be people around here who are used to the waters and the tides would know. Like I can ask my husband and he knows when the tide's in and out and whatever. Um, Offhand, I don't know that stuff personally. Um, oh, I loved what yes, you watched that, eh? Dr. Grande had to say Canadian Deliverance. Yeah, yeah. He's pretty good. Hi all, hope you're doing well. Hi, Mama. Thanks for being here, Mama G. Mary. Okay, we'll call you Mary then. Um, Thanks for being here, Mary. Uh, yeah, Ginger's pretty funny. I think they are 36.6 miles from home, buried. Are there any cemeteries near? Oh, geez, there's cemeteries everywhere. There's cemeteries out there. Uh, yeah. I would love to know your husband's opinion on the case, Nova. Oh, he's pretty much along with most of like I just go to him. He'll say, "Is there anything new?" And I don't even tell him my opinion. I don't go into long-winded anything. I, go over stuff here with you guys. But I'll just tell him, "Oh, this is the newest thing," like the article that come out. And then his comments are right along with pretty much what we're all saying. Like, I mean, You just you just can't help but your mind go that way because they weren't found in the woods, and then you have all the suspicious and very strange things going on. So, it's just where your mind's gonna go, right? That something nefarious took place here and things do not look good. As soon as I told him about what the neighbor had said, hearing the car and how many times, and well, right away he was like, "Oh, well, you have to measure this and that to find out how far something is to there, and is it possible that the car went here, and you need to know the time in between." So it was everything that everyone was saying on here, right? He and I said to him, "Oh, yeah," he said, "You're saying the same stuff that everybody's saying on, the, sites that are covering the case, they're pretty much saying the same thing, you know?" But that's but the thing is, the information, of course, we're missing is the time in between of, you know, the neighbor saying it was so many, it was every half hour, it was every, whatever, right? The case may be, the time in between as a guesstimate. Um, yeah, yeah. So he's right along pretty much with what everybody else thinks. Um, so let's go over, and first of all, I want to say I'm going to bring up YouTube, and I just want to play this quick because this poor little boy, Jaden Spicer, I'm not sure if you all know, but he was found and he was found unalived. So just in thoughts of him because they do show a picture of him here, and it's so sad. And again, it just shows how things have to change because this little boy was in the hands of another family member and ended up back with his mother and now unalived. It's just so sad.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Marvin Bartlett. And I'm Andrea Walker. We begin with breaking news, a sad end to an 8-day search for a 10-year-old boy who went missing in Breathitt County. State police confirmed to us that Jaden Spicer was found dead earlier today in a remote area off Canoe Road. Police say they will have a press briefing at 8:30 tonight at the Hazard Post to release more details. We will have a crew there and a complete report on Fox 56 News at 10.
Now, state police had been searching for the boy since last Wednesday using a helicopter, dogs, and boots on the ground. Community members had offered up donations to build a reward fund for information that would lead to Spicer's whereabouts. Papal Missionary of Mercy Father Jim Stichko has now offered to pay for the boy's funeral expenses.
What a sin. Poor little bugger. So we're going to read some of your comments in support of Belinda. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. No, I guess that's full screen. So Cheryl, who I think is here right now. No, maybe not. No, Cheryl's not here right now. This is in regards to Belinda. And actually, I guess we can play that again. We'll go back up this way and I'll play it, and then we'll look at the comments in response to, oh my. Stop doing that. Yeah, and then we'll look at the comments. JDR.
Hi, everyone. This is just a quick video. This is an article that just came out maybe less than a half hour ago, maybe an hour. Sorry, not sure on the time there. But it is regarding,
and this is actually my video from the other day, not today, guys, to not cause confusion there. So that's why it is my voice, and then AI is going to read this article.
Belinda Gray, the grandmom of Lilly&Jack Sullivan, who is calling for a public inquiry into the disappearance and the role that child welfare, which is what we do call it here, but CPS, has played in all of this. You know, what was missed on their part. And I did touch on that yesterday in my video as well, and Belinda was in the chat as well yesterday. So anyways, let's take a listen to this and leave some comments, okay? If you wish. This isn't a live, so you can certainly leave a comment. I will probably come on tomorrow and do a live, and we can have further discussions regarding this, which needs to be discussed for sure. Okay, so I'm going to click play and let you guys listen, and then I'm going to sign off. And this is the AI version of this article that you're going to hear. And it's exactly what's in the article, but it's the Globe and Mail's AI that they put out as well that you can listen to. All right.
Grandmother of Jack and Lily Sullivan calls for public inquiry into children's disappearance. By Greg Mercer and Lindsay Jones. The grandmother of Jack and Lily Sullivan, two Nova Scotia children who have been missing since May, is calling for a public inquiry into their disappearance. Belinda Gray, the children's paternal grandmother, says the Child Protection Service needs to lift the veil of secrecy around how the provincial government responded to concerns about the home life of Jack, 4, and Lily, 6. She also says the RCMP need to explain how they handled the early stages of their investigation. Ms. Gray, who had limited contact with the children after their mother split up with her son, is concerned that there may have been warning signs that were overlooked before they went missing. The Globe and Mail has previously reported that a child protection worker visited the children's home in Lansdowne, NS, in the months before their disappearance, after concerns were raised by someone at their school, but the findings of that investigation are shielded by privacy laws. "I think the public has a right to know," Ms. Gray said in an interview. "Just what did CPS do? What part were they investigating? What were their concerns and what were they doing? They might even have answers for the investigation on what happened to them or why it might have happened to them." The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, told the Globe in interviews in May that the child protection worker's visit was sparked by concerns about their learning disabilities, not their well-being. Last week, the Globe published a story in which Mr. Martel said a bruise on Jack's face seen in a widely circulated photo was caused by his sister. He did not respond to questions about another photo of Jack with a black eye on a class trip dated December 13, 2024, that was posted on his elementary school's Facebook page. The children's mother, Malachi Brooks Murray, split from Mr. Martel soon after the kid's disappearance and has declined to comment. The RCMP have acknowledged investigations like this take a long time and can be difficult for families seeking answers, and said they have committed significant resources to solving the case. The Mounties have consistently said they have not uncovered any evidence the children were abducted, and stand by a decision not to issue an Amber Alert when the children first went missing. Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon from the RCMP's Major Crime and Behavioral Sciences Unit said the investigation remains very active and intensive, and any information that could help police is being meticulously scrutinized, prioritized, and actioned to ensure nothing is missed. "We are continuing to engage every resource available to help locate Lily and Jack and determine the circumstances of their disappearance," he said. Documents released to the Globe through a Freedom of Information request show that on May 2nd, the same day the children were reported missing, a manager in Nova Scotia's Child Protection Department wrote an internal memo about the kids for senior government bureaucrats. That document was shared all the way up to the Deputy Minister for Community Services, Craig Beaton, the records show. More than 2 weeks later, on May 20th, the same manager produced another, longer memo about the children that was also shared with her bosses. The contents of those memos are entirely redacted for privacy reasons. Scott Armstrong, the minister responsible for child protection in Nova Scotia, said he's reviewed the children's file, but that it would be inappropriate for the department to comment on a continuing police investigation. This situation continues to weigh heavily on the minds of all Nova Scotians, particularly those in Pictou County, and we are all looking forward to a resolution for this family and community, Carly Smith, a spokesperson in his office, said in an email. Mr. Armstrong has acknowledged there are shortcomings in Nova Scotia's child protection system. In July, he hosted a meeting of other Atlantic region ministers and addressed challenges around recruiting social workers into the child protection system, particularly in rural areas. He also previously told the Globe he's committed to creating an office of a child and youth advocate, which would act as a watchdog on the child welfare system and be a voice for children and youth, and taking steps to reduce the workload of child welfare employees. Ms. Smith said that the issue of attracting and retaining social workers is not unique to Nova Scotia, adding the province has increased wages for child protection social workers and hired more administrative staff to ease demands on the system. Ms. Gray, the grandmother, says political commitments for change alone are not good enough. She called for more transparency in how the child welfare system dealt with her grandkids, including what prompted someone at their school to contact Child Protection Services in the first place. "I'd like to know what the school has stated. Was it just some bruises they saw on Jack? Are there other things? Is there anything concerning Lily? I would like to know," Ms. Gray said. Ms. Gray is among those who are frustrated it took the Mounties weeks to follow up on some tips and arrange formal interviews with people who knew the children. Jack and Lily's maternal grandfather, Henry Brooks, said in late May the RCMP had yet to reach out to him for an interview. Mr. Brooks says he also has questions about what was happening inside the children's home, and that his daughter had been trying to leave Mr. Martel for months before the kids disappeared. Like others, he just wants to know what happened. "It's been eating me up. I'm wondering where the hell they are," he said. "I hope we get some answers soon."
All right, now we'll come down and read some of the comments. So Cheryl, she deserves answers. We all do. Definitely. And I mean, we all do. Yeah, because not just in the name of Lily and Jack, but as a whole, what went wrong here and what needs to be done to correct that. To when you know better, hopefully you're going to do better. And it certainly seems like these systems need to be looked at. Um, yeah. Uh, Finally, some action well over, and this is Grendel. Finally, some action well overdue, in my opinion. I think Belinda should request that the RCMP request official help from the FBI. They consulted and taught course with Canada and UK plenty of times in the past. Even asked them to reach out to the FBI Forensic Linguistic Unit. They specifically analyzed recordings, um, lie detector examinations, police reports, text messages, phone calls or recordings, and camera interviews. However, the BAU typically has linguistic analysis in their unit and forensic linguistics as well. And Scarlett, and who is here right now, but I think goes by a different name in here. Or maybe that's not who's here. Maybe I'm wrong. No. um, they needed to be held accountable. It's BS. Sorry, not sorry. All of them, the system, the CPS, the parents, everyone. It's BS. Yep. She deserves answers, and a public inquiry is definitely warranted. Indeed. Thank you for the update. Hope you're having a good day. And I will say that, and Mariska, you had thanked me as well, and others, that Globe and Mail, you have to pay for it to receive the information. And so because I pay for it, I do want to come on right away when I receive something, an article from them, to put it out there, so that you guys don't have to pay for it, or anybody that is following the case, you won't have to pay for it. You can just listen to what I put out. Uh, Grendel again, Belinda and Chelsea, we all have your backs, definitely. If you start, and Lilly&Jack's, if you start a petition, please let us know. I'd love to sign it. Yep. You both deserve answers and the bureaucratic excuses of the RCMP and CSA. Yeah. Um, Wanods. Always have an issue with that name. Sorry, Wanods. Today, this is a long one. I'm going to read it. Oh, I guess it doesn't look as long on here. To Daniel, Malaya, and Janie, in my opinion, you will never stop seeing Jack and Lily in your minds. You will never stop hearing their voices, their screams, their cries. You will see them in the day, the night, and in your nightmares until you let Jack and Lily rest peacefully. Let their souls fly free. No amount of time, no amount of coping aids will be enough to stop you from seeing and hearing those two little souls begging you to release them from your hands. May God have mercy on your souls. Yeah. And Valerie says 100% support Belinda. Uh, and Crazy Town Boomer says thank you, Nova. And again, because not everybody has access to those articles. If Rena, if CPS has been involved and a child is missing, there should be a special alert sent and procedures in place. And I 100% agree. 100%. Scarlett, they need to set in motion a law that changes the requirements for removing kids from parents and their Amber Alert to be set off. I mean, just imagine if they were taken from the home, and just because there wasn't a suspect, uh, they there was they weren't able to find them in time. Or what about the CPS in school? That should have been enough. Black eyes on a baby. I mean, well, she has 3 and 6. They're 4 and 6. Still babies. It's sad. It's ridiculous, and it's happening way too much. Yep. So, Belinda Gray, I'm standing with you for the justice in the fight for Lily and Jack. The public's answer explanations. We want answers, and most of all, want it. We won't stop. We won't stop till we know where Lily and Jack are 100%. And Sharon, one of the children's teachers, one of the and this is all in her opinion because we don't, this is allegedly, right? We don't know if any of this is 100% fact. One of the children's teachers did say the children had their breakfast in school. They had empty lunch boxes, were given some snacks to take with them when they were leaving school. They never had proper clothing to wear. The school helped with that. The school staff are mandators. They have to report this. The children were going to school with marks, and Jack had a bruised eye multiple times. And we know that Lily had a black eye as well. That was first stated. That happened at grandmother Patty's on Wednesday, and then apparently that changed to Thursday. Now, I don't know where that was stated, but I know people are saying that, and I'm not sure where that was stated and by who. Um, but yeah, it's just another story that the details have changed. They reported that as well. The children, in my opinion, should have been removed at that point. 100% agree. Send them to parenting classes. Yep. If they felt the rugs were involved, send them for detox and rehab. If anger was an issue, send them to anger management. If there were stresses that needed to be taken care of, then send them to a therapist. If both of them did all this, then give them another chance parenting those children. If they didn't complete those programs, they shouldn't get them back. 100%. The dad, Cody, and his mom should have the right to inquire about the situation. Too late for Daniel to be doing that now. The children are gone. And then she states this is in her opinion. Yeah. Autumn, Malaya can't even take care of her own kids. And then she had to have another third one with a weirdo partner like Daniel. Uh, what's wrong with her? Jack and Lily would have been better off with Belinda, definitely. The grandma who loved them. But no, selfish Malaya had to ruin their lives by neglecting them in a nasty trailer around cranky Janie. Yeah, sad. Uh, go back and look at some of your comments here before we move on. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yeah. Oh, I'm probably way behind in comments. Randy, yeah, when I kind of did a rough estimate, I'm so terrible with numbers now. I get really confused. Uh, I was thinking the same thing, right? You'd have to leave some room there for whatever's taking place in between the car moving. Sharon, that's a good question. Yes. I'm not sure if it was 6 trips or 6 times the vehicle was heard, meaning going back and forth, so 3 trips. Not 100% sure, and I don't think it was specified in the article. Bonnie, in my opinion, I don't. I don't. It just doesn't make sense. I've looked at that really hard, and it just doesn't, to me, make sense for many reasons. Um, that's in my opinion. Yep, they deserve justice. Yeah, exactly, Mariska. Yeah, just doesn't make sense. Excuse me. Yeah, my heart hurts for Belinda. Imagine the torturous thoughts that go through her mind. I know. I know, especially when there's no closure, like they're missing and there's no closure. Not that there ever is 100% closure to anything, but you know what I mean. Uh, okay. I think we know what that name stands for. Moncton here, first time joining. Have a nice day. Thank you. You have a nice day too. Uh, I'm thinking it's probably a Honda too. Hi Marlene, welcome back. Ginger, that's what I thought about the article too. Butt cover. Yep, that happens a lot. You're welcome. Hi, the pond. Thank you for being here. I think we should raise money for a private investigator. I think uh, when Belinda starts making decisions as to what direction she feels things need to go in, uh, we definitely should support that, and those would definitely be good times to raise, better, appropriate, appropriate times to raise money. Uh, yeah, yeah, cadaver drone, exactly. Like, and I think Belinda will, we need to follow her lead in whatever direction she's going to go in, and you know, perhaps say, "Hey, I think I want to do this," and if it's, all none of that stuff, of course, is cheap, of course, and whatever the decision is, then we can follow her lead, right, and then raise money. I would, oh, me too. I would sign a petition as well. Keep putting pressure. It is the only way you will get some answers. 100%, Valerie. Yeah. Randy McLean, I never heard about Cindy being called at midnight. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that either. Hi, Barb. Or is she just questioning that that may have happened? Um, oh no, you're thinking that. So I don't know where you heard that, Mary. I've never ever heard tell of that. She called her the day the kids went missing. Uh, there's a process in Ontario to view CPS files. Is there one in Nova Scotia? I doubt it. And especially right now. Um, or you're speaking like as far as Belinda, as where she is the family. Yeah, I think that's something her and her son for sure could look into and find out what processes there are, if any. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if there is or isn't. It's not something that I've ever had to look into. Um, so, Randy, can you share where you received that information? Because I'm not aware of that ever coming from Malaya or Belinda or uh, anybody, um, or Cindy or uh, the only thing that I ever saw, and I did a video on it here, um, is the text messages between Malaya and her mother the day of. And part of those texts were around 12 p.m. that day that the children went missing. I wonder something. How much info can a lawyer legally keep from the police? Uh, yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Wonder, eh? And that I don't know. Barb in the Globe article? I don't remember seeing that in there. She called her the day the kids went missing, but not at 12 a.m. Polar vortex, CPS, and the RCMP quickly sealed all of the records in this case. Yeah, 100%. So redacted info was given to the Globe and Mail. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. If someone was working with the police, wouldn't you think a police agency would be a little further ahead in a case? Well, are they? And we don't know. Hard to say. What, it's hard to say what they really know because they're not going to tell us. I think just them making the statement that yes, that tip come in, that's a big thing for them to let out there because they usually say, due to the investigation, we can't, discuss that or whatever. But this time they didn't. They actually said, yep, we received that tip, which is quite telling. Yeah. Yes, files should be sealed from the general public, yeah, but I wonder about extended family, yeah, yeah, exactly. And maybe they are from the family as well for, a time while an investigation is going on, right? Did FRO freeze their child benefits for not paying support? Uh, hmm, I doubt it. I doubt it. They don't do much of anything like that around here, in my experience. Uh, yeah, isn't that sad? Hi, Mara. Yep, they're supposed to have rights, that's for sure. Don't F with kids. Nova, do you remember Kevin Merton? Kevin Merton. Is that a case? Kevin Merton? Doesn't ring bells. Is that I hope it's a case because we're not supposed to mention names in the chat outside of if you're referring to a case. Mama Angie, hello. JDR, if you refuse that, you don't get your kids back, period. Yeah, you shouldn't. That's for sure. You think it was 6 round trips? Maybe. Yeah, Mama Angie, yeah. That's the next step for sure. And that's what they're waiting on too. Crime Courtroom Confidential. Well, hello there. How are you? Hey, Nova. Lovely to catch you live. I don't usually catch you. No, probably because I'm not usually on this late, but I fell asleep today and didn't wake up
till 1 o'clock. Sometimes I'm up very early in the morning, like between 4 and 5, and I'll have a coffee, and I'll stay up for a little bit, and then I'll fall back asleep, and I did today. And I didn't get up till 1, which is late for me. But thanks for being here. Hello, CB. Thanks for being here. Hello, Nova. Thank you for reviewing this so well and without all the drama and insults I've seen on other channels, and also for paying attention to the comments people respond to you with. Oh, you're welcome. And I did receive your email. Uh, and Yeah, I touched on the bruise eye a little bit. Um, Now the thing I don't know of, and maybe it's already in the comments, is when did this change to Thursday? I've heard people talking about it, but I don't know where it was stated and by who. I'm going to assume Daniel. Um, but I know it is being stated. And the thing is with him, well, I mean, anytime he's saying anything, you have to take it with a grain of salt anyways, and I'm gonna sneeze just 1 minute, guys. Sorry. Um, but I mean, if, he did I know he did say Wednesday at first, and it happened at Patty's during the laundry visit. And then people are saying now he's switched it to Thursday. Well, for me, his reason, if that is the case, right now it's allegedly because I'm not sure where it's coming from. Um, he would have to then think, okay, well, wait a minute. Patty's gonna say she wasn't aware of any bruise. Malaya's gonna say she's not aware of any bruise that happened Wednesday. Uh, if the bruise did take place later after they were already out in town and back, the person that saw them or the cameras may have picked it up that there was no bruise. Um, and that just seems to be the way with Daniel that the stories are constantly changing. It's just like him saying on the news that he said to Malaya, uh, "Did you hear the kids?" And then, of course, after the fact, it's, "Well, we all know Malaya said it," and then he has to go back and change that, um, you know, that, "Yeah, it was Malaya," he says in the stuff to Sonny, but then he says to somebody else after he was on Sonny's in a text message that, um he again states, "I can't remember if it was me or Malaya who said it. It's hard to remember." Well, you just said in your messages to Sonny that um, it was Malaya. And like it's just constant back and forth with him. Um, yeah, yeah. So there's reasons. I mean, at times it's just, I think, and partly just due to mess with your head. And then in other times it's due to, uh, he knows he has to change what he said because it's just not so. By the way, I'm loving your chat. Thank you. Very nicely done. My first time here, and I will be following it from now on. Well, thank you, Bonnie, and thank you for being here. Belinda did ask for the cadaver dogs, and Daniel did as well. It's aggravating that they have stalled on that. Dogs would indicate that they were unalived on the property, although that hurts to say that. Well, if you watch my video that I did on RCMP dogs, and we know that they did have dogs there because it stated actually in that article from the Globe and Mail, it specifically stated. Sometimes you have to look at the specifics of what they're saying in there. So they didn't just say dogs were searching on the property. She specifically said uh, police and their dogs, or the police and the dog, or whatever. But it was the police and the dog. Uh, so it was the police dog. And all of RCMP's dogs are trained on human remains detection. So
you can go back to one of my videos and you'll see that's an actual RCMP officer. It was it was on the RCMP dogs and human remain detection. That's what the article was about. And it's live news, and there's a few officers sitting there talking about the dogs, and he says all of our dogs are trained on human detection, uh, or human remains detection. And then they talk about the cadaver dog as well. They're highly trained cadaver dog, who the first one was dog. And that training is a bit more extensive than what the other dogs receive. Um, so their dogs that they would have had on the property and had in the trailer, because there's no reason to take a ground search and rescue dog in the trailer. Um, or even on the property. There's no need. Obviously, you can see the kids are not in the front yard and the backyard. So those dogs would be out in the woods, ground search and rescue dogs, the search dogs, and the police dogs that were on the property. They are trained to sniff out human remains. Um, yeah. And did they hit on anything? Who knows? And if you go back to that earlier video, which is the day that they did that big press conference, and somebody asked about cadaver dogs, he kind of stammered over answering that, and then looked over at Carly, the other officer, and went back to answer it because um, they're trying not to let out too much information, in my opinion. And the dogs that were there are already trained to hit on human remains. So, and he was trying to figure out how to answer that question, in my opinion, without putting too much out there. And were they there and did hit on something? Um, or I mean, I know they were there. I know they were there. We know the police dogs were there, and I know that they're trained in human remains detection because of the research I did, and you can see that in that video. Um, but did they pick up on anything? Did they hit on anything? Right? Um, I hope police have drones out with the water. So though, yeah, everywhere right now. Yeah, yeah. Oh God. Yeah, definitely. Yes, if they were alive. Yes, my gosh. I would definitely think so, yes. Well, if they are in a body of water, D would be okay with that. Yeah. They likely cleaned up the scene. Yeah, kinda starting to sound that way, isn't it? Do they have cadaver dogs? I know from Nova's Inquest video, they use dogs trained to, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, and I encourage you guys to go watch that to, like, educate yourself on that and have that knowledge and make up your own decision after you watch that of what you think. But, um, yeah, yeah. Mama, I don't think they are alive, sadly. I just mean in general, anything else in this case. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to skip too many comment. BBB, thank you for being here. Anybody new that come in that I may have missed, I apologize and thank you for being here. BBB, I think our CMP are close to having enough evidence for conviction, in my opinion. Oh, I hope so. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I don't want to skip too many, but it looks like you guys are having great conversations with each other. But I want to get over to the house. Uh, the boy, the boy found buried. Not the boy found buried not far from Burnside. I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to look it up. Um, if it happened in a certain time, my memory probably didn't retain it because I have really there's really bad spots with my memory, but I will look it up. I pulled his name up on the screen when you said it, so I can go back and look that name up and read about it, and I will, okay? Um, yeah, polar vortex in the RCMP press release, they said RCMP dogs were brought, yep, in right away. They are trained for human remains. Yep. Cadaver dogs are used for case 3-year-old. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They typically use those for older remains when they're getting a little bit harder to detect, and for deeply buried uh, in concrete, like the highly trained dogs, the cadaver dogs can seek that out. But uh, that for the initial search, yeah, they brought in the human, their dogs who are trained for human remains detection. Exactly, Ginger. Thanks. Um, I did put a message one day in Sunny's chat, and I don't think she saw it. I was trying to update her that I did the research. Yeah, on that, and those dogs are trained in human scent detection. Yeah, for sure. If 6 round trips, yeah, and I'm not sure if it's 6 round trips or back and forth, so 6 times hearing that echoey sound, 6 times. Uh, Lola, hi, thanks for being here. I heard him say it happened the day before they went missing. No, the Globe and Mail article stated that Lily's black eye was. Oh, okay. Okay, I missed that little detail. Interesting. Yeah, so again, the story changes. Not shocking, not shocking at all, right? Because if that happened at Patty's, Patty's gonna know about it. Anytime something like that, I mean, I remember when the one black eye out of my 2 boys, um, like, you're going, oh my god, that's gonna be a shiner," and you're getting the ice pack, and you're reacting to the eye getting hit with something. You're checking to make sure the eyeball's okay and that your child's not gonna go half blind. Um, so, I mean, obviously, if that happened at Patty's, that would stand out, right? And, yeah. So, yeah. Questions around that for sure, because did that happen also after the kids were witnessed out in public, and that person as well, or the cameras could have picked it up and said, "There's no black eye there. Like, what are you talking about?" Right? And allegedly, and I don't know if this is true, and I can't even remember where I heard it or read it, that Malaya had stated that she doesn't know anything about Lily having a black eye, but she does know about Jack's black eyes. Um, yeah, yeah. Wednesday about the video at the pizza place. Wednesday, and about the video at the pizza place. Never heard any of that before, or 3 p.m. on Thursday. Don't know if the video was of them at the pizza place or at the Dollarama or at the Westville Medical Clinic, because they were also there as well. It shows it on her maps thing that Sunny had shown. Hello, Danique. Welcome to the channel. I know, a lot of references to water. Big time. Robin, thank you for being here. Hello, Susie. But first, coffee. Susie has her own channel, guys, as well. Just to let you know, and she does some pretty good shows. as well. Did Malay's Google Maps show they arrived home? Yep, at 3:11 exactly. Does it take 11 minutes to drive home? Uh, from Westfall? Possibly, depending on how fast you're driving. Yep, could be. Yeah, I could see it being around 11 minutes. Possibly, yeah, yeah. You mean from when they were in Westfall is what you're saying? From the time that they were in Westfall to from there to driving home. Because Westfall is the closest town to where they live, and there's back roads that'll take you there. Rob, hi, thanks for being here. Okay. 3 times 2, 6 trips. That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah. - 1994, he went missing, found by loggers in 2000. Um, Also, there was a man found in the mine shaft in New Lairg. His vehicle was found on Lansdowne Road. 2 local Pictou. Oh, you're talking about. Sorry, you threw me right off there because you had said another area, another place. You're talking about the boy. He was a teenager and he was from Stellarton. Is that who you're talking about? And they suspect there was 2 stories there that went around. Possibly his stepfather or possibly a group of other teenagers. Is that who you're talking about? If that's who you're talking about, oh, 100% I remember that. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And they found him out in the woods. Yeah. Yeah. And the other man as well. Yes, I remember that as well. I didn't know that he was red rum though until it was mentioned when people started talking about him again with this case. When they found him, I thought that he had got lost hunting out there. I didn't realize that he was red rum. So I want to go over to hi Mike. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Anybody I missed saying hi to, my apologies and thank you for being here. I want to go over to Google Maps and I want to check out. Actually, first, we're going to look at some pictures because I want to show you something there. Hi, Shirley. Thanks for being here. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Yeah, last place, Westfield Pizza. Yes, I definitely could see it taking around 11 minutes from there on the back roads, especially if you're hightailing it. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I'm actually going to do, I've been looking back at some of those cases and I am going to touch on some of them. The first one that I'm going to touch on is Billy Smith. I'm not sure if you remember that one. Would depend on your age, but kind of sounds like you're probably within my age group. um, yes. And the other man. Nope. Oh, oh, you're saying nope, no, he didn't die of, yeah, getting lost out there. Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea that he was red brummed. Yeah, I'm gonna be touching on some of those cases, and, yeah, I'm gonna start with the Billy Smith. Yeah. Um, okay, so, yeah, first I wanna take a look at some pics here. I wanna show you guys some pics. Okay, so that's the woodpile that everybody's talking about there, for anyone that hasn't heard about that yet or seen that. And that's by the swing. So you see that bar right there? That is where the swings are tied to. And there's all the wood underneath, right? And that's why I had said in my video when she said about him collecting bugs, and I went, "Yeah, under that wood pile, right?" Because, that wood pile is right where she keeps saying the kids always played there. So, I was thinking, well, there's not much to do there with the wood pile there except pick that wood up and collect the bugs under it, I guess. They definitely wouldn't be able to swing on the swings. Um Yeah, unless it was put there afterwards, but I don't know. Um, okay, I want you guys to see this. So you can see where it says from 1373 Garlock Road to 1407 Garlock Road, or Garlock, however you want to pronounce it, is a 6-minute walk. So that's how close those two houses are, just to give you an idea. Because sometimes when you're on the maps and you're pulling that thing down the road, the arrow, it's hard to tell. So it's a 1-minute drive, and it's a 6-minute walk. Okay, so you can see that there, 6 minutes, and it shows the little man walking. Uh, so that's how close that those two properties are to each other. That I'm going to show you, which would be Daniel's place and the Black House. And I want to show you that. That's one of my signs that came, and I put it in the window. I have two, and so one is in the window and the other one's out in the yard. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna get more. I would love to see one of the oh my god, what is going on with my mouse? I would love to see one of the bigger ones put on a pole down at the end of my road across the street, because a lot of people drive by there, and I think that, oh, Mark, my first my first super sticker. Wow. And how do you do this? Thank you. Thank you very much. My first super sticker. And in case you guys didn't know, I was actually allowed to become monetized. So, and not that that's I don't care. I don't care about it, but uh thank you so much. That is so appreciated. That's sweet. Um Yeah, so I wanna get the bigger one, and well, I won't be able to go down and put it on the pole, but I'll get my husband to do it. And I don't know if you need the town's approval for that, but I'll just get him to sneak down late at night and do it. Um, okay, now we will go to Google Maps. Yeah, I thought my mouse was acting up because when you first get one of those, stickers, it kinda pops out a bit, um, and I thought my mouse was doing something weird, and, I didn't realize that I had a sticker and that's what it does. That's why I was saying my mouse is acting weird. I thought it was clicking on something it shouldn't be. Well, thank you. My very first sticker. Super sticker. Okay, make sure you guys can see that okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go down the road. So this is going to be out the driveway. We'll start up here so you can see. So out the driveway and down this way. So to the right. And like I said, this is a 6-minute walk. So not far down the road at all. Right here. In my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. And the reason why I think that makes sense is, in my opinion, it wouldn't matter which way that car uh, uh, from Daniels is going. Now, this neighbor states that it was coming and going from that from the Martell property, from Daniels property. That's what this witness states. So the reason to me why that neighbor would think that is so concrete, and it wouldn't matter which way that car is going because of the fact that there's really no neighbors up the other way for quite a distance. That if that car was going the other way and coming back, um, the neighbor would know that it has to be coming from there because the sound would stop there. So does that make sense? You know what I mean? The sound would stop and not continue past their house. And there's no houses in between. So if the car is now has stopped, uh, and there's not a neighbor here and a neighbor here and a neighbor here. Well, probably not that close, but you know what I'm saying. Um, y- you would question it if there was more neighbors. Oh, is that John down the street making that noise with the car, or is that Benny over here? But because there's only one neighbor there, it you know who it is. The sound stops here, so it's obviously coming from that property, right? That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And same as if the car was coming back this way, to and fro. But when it's coming back, same thing again. It's going to stop making sound right here. It's not going to continue on down the road and become, less noisy because it was stated to be a loud vehicle. Again, common sense would tell you that it's coming from right here. So in my opinion, that's why I'm speculating that this is probably most likely the property, uh, for those 2 reasons, because it's only, uh, uh, 6 minutes away walking, and because whether the car's coming whichever way, that car, or that individual in this home could obviously, figure out where that sound is coming from. Also, um, the individual was said to be out in their yard working on their vehicle. So, were they in this here? What that in that barn there working on the vehicle and could hear that noise, or working right here in their yard or here. But it looks, I could certainly see an individual on that property working on their vehicle. Now we'll go down the other way just a little bit, just for fun. Down the down, come out of the driveway and go left. And that was the driveway there, yes. So that's where the site is that's closed up now. Used to be a campground years ago. Yeah, so I mean, there's no neighbors down here, down this way. So I think it's kind of obvious. Yeah, I think it's obvious. Yeah, unless I missed something there, but I didn't see any. I haven't seen any. That's an old road there. Yeah. So is that making sense to you guys that that is probably looks like that's probably the property? Thank you, Terry Van Horn. Thank you very much for another super sticker. Thank you. I wonder why yours didn't do it. His didn't pop out there. Um, uh, Thank you very much for the super sticker. That's so lovely to do. Thank you. Thank you. It means so much. It's so touching to share some or to receive something like that. Thank you. CB, in my opinion, the RCMP would have named the residents as persons of interest or suspects had the dogs indicated a scent of unalived evidence. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hmm. I think I think they would keep that one under their hat until they found more evidence. Maybe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think Randy or Mary. I'm pretty sure that's. I would say that that's. It has to be. It has to be. Now the car is the other question. Now, again, I think I already stated earlier that she had stated that the when she was at Earl's, Lindsay had stated that she saw an old blacked out sedan vehicle when she was there. And I mean, just because something's not roadworthy, meaning it won't pass inspection and you don't have the money to fix what needs to be fixed to get it to pass inspection, doesn't mean it doesn't run. Just saying. Uh, Mariska, we know We don't know what scents the dog found on the property because the RCMP did announce anything about that yet. Didn't announce anything about that yet. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Mariska, sorry, but I was not talking about the dogs or anyone being deceased. I think you misunderstood my comment. Please use allegedly and in my opinion. Absolutely. Thank you, Ginger, in your comments to protect yourself from defamation and slander charges in Canada. Yep. Remember that, guys. 100%. But now that you mention it, none of us know whether or not the dogs detected anything or who may be considered suspicious by the RCMP. Yeah, exactly. Is this where the neighbor was working on his car? I speculate, Mariska. And I just explained to you why I speculate that. Why to me that makes sense. At Nova, after that, will you be able to become a member? At Nova, after that, will we be able to become a member? Yeah, you should now, actually. You should be able to become a member now. Um, yeah, and it's only $1.49, the cheapest. The cheapest rate going. Again, thank you, Terry. So sweet, and thank you, Mark. Yes, absolutely. Carol, hi Carol. If that is the neighbor and they drove by there, would he not have seen the vehicle? Well, as I had shown, they could have been going the other way. It and honest in my opinion, I think it may have been the other way. Just in my opinion, speculating because of the fact that the neighbor doesn't sound like the neighbor saw the vehicle. If the neighbor did see that vehicle and they told RCMP that, they're still keeping that quiet. But to me, it sounds like the vehicle may have been going the other way and coming back. And like I said, because there's nobody in between them, it would only make common sense that that neighbor would know that that car's coming in and out of Daniel's driveway because there's no other two neighbors in between, so it's not like me living here in the street I live on, and if a noisy car goes by and passes my house and goes further up the street, I don't know who owns that noisy car because I have, you know, a handful of neighbors past my house. I would know it's not the neighbor right beside me, and maybe the next neighbor, but after that, I wouldn't know which neighbor's house that car turned into. But here, that's not the same. Like that noise could be coming from the other direction and turning into the driveway, and not even going past that house. That individual would have to kind of use their common sense and know that that's coming out of it in and out of Daniel's property. Thank you, Nova, for putting those babies out to the world. We need Jack and Lily brought home 100%. Yes, yes. Whether it's either way, because they need to be put to rest respectfully, right? Isn't it strange that one neighbor hears a loud car and no one else in the area heard anything? Well, yeah, it's between 12 and 5 in the morning, though. So, uh, and there's not a lot of neighbors out there, so you can kinda imagine that most other people were in bed at that time, at 12 midnight, um, and there like I said, there's not a lot of neighbors, right? So if you're only speaking of a handful of people, and out of that handful of households, one person happened to be up working on their vehicle, late at night, right? And through the night. Um, I don't find that too unusual. If that was a busy area with lots of neighbors, lots of houses, then I would kind of go, yeah, why only one person out of 30 houses, or 50 houses or whatever the case may be. Hello, Belinda. Thank you for being here. And this is Belinda is Lily and Jack's paternal grandmother. Beautiful soul. We read your the the posts that uh, commenters had left in support of you. Yeah, lots of conversation in support of you, Belinda. Um, all of the rest of the neighbors are family, and that's true too. That is true too. Yeah, yeah. Did she say she has 4 or 5 brothers, and they all live out there? Yeah, yeah. That is true too. Lots of love, Belinda. Lots of love. Yes. Yeah. I was just explaining how I, to me, speculate that that black house, I don't know if you saw when they talked about it on Sunny's, they showed the black house as well. That I speculate it would make sense that that's the neighbor who heard the car. Yeah. Stewart seems upset and said he was getting a lawyer for some AI video. Oh, whatever. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Durwood. Oh, I know what video he's talking about too. Yeah, Nova. Can you go out 36.6 and 73 in opposite directions of boot print? Find any cemeteries. Not today, but what I will do is I've already seen the cemeteries out there. But what I'll do is find them again, and in the next video, what I'll do is do the pictures like I did of the 6 minutes it takes to walk there, um, from that house to the next house. And yeah, and I'll show them. Um, yeah. Um, I don't think that's where the kids are, in my opinion, but we all have our opinions and we all have our speculations. And yep, I'll show those in my next video. Yeah, yeah, I saw that cemetery. There's probably more out there too, but uh, I definitely saw that one. Yeah, I don't blame him, regardless of his opinions or statement. No judge or jury would condemn someone for being publicly humiliated like that. Yeah, and those videos are ridiculous. Those videos are horrible. Yes, agreed, Ginger. Yeah. Skullfield. Hi, Belinda. Can you tell us anything about the other dog you heard at Daniel's? Did you hear it both days you went there? I only heard the loud dog on Saturday. Yeah. Our CMP should impound that vehicle. Well, the funny thing is, I am so sure I heard or I read somewhere somebody say that wasn't Daniel's vehicle recently uh, impounded or taken by the police or something like that. And I remember not paying a whole lot of attention to it because I just thought they were talking about when Malaya's vehicle had been taken, and I was thinking, oh no, that wasn't his vehicle, that was Malaya's. But they had said recently, but I can't remember where it was, and so it's all allegedly, right? I just can't remember where I heard or saw it. There's so much information, and usually I write it down. I have to write it down to remember, and if I don't, it's just gone. At Nova, Your driving is awful, and I'm feeling yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, that would be about right too. Yeah, it's probably why I'm not allowed to drive anymore. Does anyone know how many other family members live within 10 kilometers of Daniel and Janie's? Probably 10 kilometers. No, but I know that I'm sure she said 4 or 5 brothers that live out there as well. And then if because lots of times the way it is, it's not just the brothers, or the other immediate family, then it's their kids and their kids and I can think of like my sister and her husband, like there's, you know, on the road that she lives on with her husband, that's all his family out there. So it's the grandparents lived out there, the parents live out there, now their kids live out there, which are, in their 40s, and some of their kids, like, it just goes on like that. So, where all those family members live out there, I don't know. Some people here in Alberta work in their cars late at night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my husband has. I talked about that in my last video. That's not uncommon. Yeah. For sure, right? I know a lot of people can't imagine that, but when somebody at home is mechanical and you need to keep your car going and you do when you can, and lots of times late at night and into the next day because you need to keep that car going to get back and forth, especially when you're out in the country, it's essential. So if it takes you till 5 in the morning to get that car back up and running, then it takes you till 5 in the morning or to pass inspection. Hi, Belinda. Did anyone else listening to It's a Crime and Shame last night understand where Kent got his info from? He spoke about looking for a black car. I asked in chat and he said dark colored. Yeah. Mhm. I picked up on him saying black car too, Carla. And I thought, is that the blacked out car parked up at Earl's? Mhm. All the support is amazing. Thank you to all. Well, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They should be reported. I report them. I report them when I can. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very strong lady. Kent talks to Deerwood and Daniel. Hmm. Seems like they got the dog out of there pretty quickly. Do you think it was Justin's dog? Hard to say if Justin has a dog or Earl. Yeah, but it definitely doesn't sound like it's the dog, Janie's dog. I like when that dog walked out of the camper, I was like, "Oh, for Pete's sakes, that is definitely not the dog that was there that Belinda heard." Uh, yeah, and in my opinion, whatever dog was there and put in that trailer, I speculate was probably intentional, which is, I'm sure, law enforcement, RCMP, or any other law enforcement. It's not the first time something like that has been done to, you know, try to fearmonger them. Belinda, my heart breaks for Jack and Lily. Keep up the good work, hon. Yeah. May I ask who is Deerwood? Oh gosh, do you really want to know? Do you really want to know? I would say Deerwood is just absolutely nobody, honestly. Um, yeah. And anything that Darwood and Daniel have to say, I don't pay attention to anything that they have to say. They've already been proven to be untruthful. Uh, and there's just something wrong with that whole thing. Didn't the dog stop at that one footprint in the driveway? According to Daniel, I heard some ATVs were impounded. Not sure if it's true. Yeah, so see, there is a rumor going around now. I heard a car. So I saw in chat yesterday was saying it was a wolf hybrid. They are known to be real aggressive. I wish we could find out. I saw somebody say that too, but I thought they were talking about the police dog because the police dogs are purebred German shepherds, and some of them, when you look at the picture of the RCMP's dogs, some of them do look like they're part wolf. Yeah, like it doesn't completely look like a German Shepherd. It doesn't have that the other patches of color in it. One of them was pretty much all black. So I just thought that that was what somebody was talking about was the RCMP's dog that they had there, the police dog. I couldn't make it out because of the sun glare, but it had a very large mouth. Yeah, and I could see the teeth. But I wasn't really paying attention because we were headed into the woods. Yeah, yeah. Croft referenced the cemeteries with fresh burials. Not sure where I heard that too regarding the dogs. Waiting for the woods to open so it can be looked at further. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What a shame that we have to come into this with the woods being closed and because but then again, I am a believer in everything happens for a reason, right? Like, why did somebody end up having to stay up and fix their car and it you know what I'm saying? And I've seen that happen with my husband, and he's had to work on our car, and he can't get that fixed, and the car has to be running by the next day, and he has to keep work like, I see those circumstances, and I'm thinking, of all nights, right? And that's sometimes how things happen, and it's that one tip that cracked something wide open, right? That something just came together like that for a reason. I I to you too, Rob. Teasing you. Nova, I think cemetery simply because they are lazy people. Yeah, get that right. So quick disposal. They're lazy, but remember, Daniel was on methany and getting around faster than a helicopter. That's cute. This worries me. Justin was crying so much. Yeah. Maybe he left responsibility. Maybe he felt responsibility, allegedly. Yeah. You never know, do you? You never know. Janie wasn't filling potholes in her raking for a pool, covering up where it happened, allegedly. I believe that is referring to an AI photo from a while back. Yeah, they're doing the AI photos as well. At Nova, no, I don't want to know, Darren. No, you don't. Trust me. And I don't even want to go into his whole story and the whole because none of it's true and it just muddies the waters. And I just don't want to go into it. Um, just wanted to know if he was related to Daniel. No, no, but they're besties big time. Birds of a feather flock together. That's all I say. Yeah. So, guys, it is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Um, if anybody has any last questions or anything you wanna say to Belinda, we should all show Belinda lots of love, that's for sure. Uh, we can send her lots of hearts. Or I can't get where are my hearts? How come I can't get any hearts to come up? There you go. I caught bad vibes from Dare, yeah, from the very beginning. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Pure shepherds from Germany are black. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what their dogs some of them have uh a little bit of other color in them, but a lot of black. Yeah. Beautiful dogs. Oh, that looks so pretty, Ginger. That is so nice. I can't get my hearts to come up right now. But Belinda, big, big, big hearts. Did you see were you here when I had shown the picture of Lily and Jack in my front window, Belinda? Yeah, skull. Unless it is the woodshed and the wood was laying out there to dry out some. I don't know. Because some people leave the wood laying out in a pile like that for a bit and then they put it in the woodshed. I know my uh stepfather, that's how he did his wood when he used to have wood. Look at all the love. Jen, hi. Oh, okay. I'll show it again and that'll be my love because I can't get my hearts up right now. I have two signs. One is in the window and the other one is out in the front lawn. So that's the one in the window. And I think I might get another one, the 4x4, and put it on the pole down at the end of the road because it's a high traffic area and everyone will see it. Everyone. The fact the fixed up the woodshed bothers me. Oh, I know, eh? There just seems something wrong about it, doesn't there? Like, here's these babies missing now, and so much attention should have been put into those children, and then to see them putting attention into a goddamn friggin' shed, and, like, it just oh, yeah, it just makes you mad. Like, maybe when these babies were there with you, uh, you could have put that amount of attention into them while they were there with you, and you could have loved every sound that they made and every, you know, loud noise that kids make. You could have just took that in and just loved it. And, you know, my grandson was here the other day and he every once in a while he'll start letting these very loud uh yelps out of him, and I just love it. We all laugh. We laugh our heads off when he does it. We love it. because it's him doing it. We love him so much. And, like, why couldn't they have given attention to that, and loved that instead of your stupid damn shed and your stupid damn dog? Like, it just makes me sick. Ugh, that's my rant. Oh, it just makes me so sick. People like that, I could just, ugh, they make me sick. Oh, Chelsea, hi. I was like, who's she? I was saying hi, sweetie, too. Thank you so much for the support, Nova. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yep. Lillian-Jack must be found. Yeah. Oh, cool. Dog trainer. Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for popping in. Hi, Nova and chat. Loving your content, and thanks for keeping the awareness for Jack and Lily. Oh, 100%. Yeah. All right, guys. I am going to wrap it up and say goodbye. Um, lots of love. Lots of love to all of you. Lots of positive vibes. Chelsea, and Chelsea, by the way, folks, is Lily and Jack's auntie. Um, Lots of love to Chelsea and Belinda. Let's keep them in our hearts. Prayer if you believe in prayer, and positive vibes. Um, Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get on tomorrow, but if I am, I'll put out a notice beforehand so you guys will know. So take care. Don't forget to hit the like, everyone, on your way out the door. And uh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Belinda and Chelsea. And I'm going to show. Oh, I got the wrong outro on there. There we go. And make sure you stay for the outro because it just kind of gives you a little nice feeling as you walk out the door. Lots of love, everyone. Lots of positive vibes. Take care. Bye.